released. Israel's security cabinet has approved a ceasefire in its conflict with Palestinian militants in Gaza. A spokesman for Hamas also told Reuters news agency that a mutual and simultaneous truce between Hamas and Israel will come into effect at 2 a.m. local time in Israel. Israel had come under increasing international pressure to halt its campaign in Gaza. U.S. President Joe Biden told Israel on Wednesday that he expected a significant de-escalation. Apparently, that de-escalation has now begun. Let's go straight to our very own Tanya Kramer. She is in Jerusalem. Tanya, let's start out. We're hearing Israel just agreed to this truce. What about Hamas? I mean, can we confirm that Hamas has also said yes to this ceasefire?
Well, Ben, the details are still coming in. So we have a confirmation right now, a statement by the Israeli Prime Minister's office that said that Israel's Security Cabinet has agreed to accept an Egyptian proposal, as it put it, for a mutual ceasefire without any preconditions, and it will be going into effect at an hour to be agreed.
The international community is calling for an end to the latest conflict between Israel and Hamas militants. The United Nations Security Council is due to discuss the violence in the coming hours. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says he was dismayed by civilian casualties in Gaza. Meanwhile, there's been yet more bloodshed in the conflict, which is now in its seventh day.
Calling out for survivors, rescuers pull the injured from the rubble and retrieve the bodies of those who didn't survive. Several Gaza apartment blocks were bombed in the early hours of Sunday. The human cost is still being counted. The number of people under the rubble is still unknown. As we've heard from the families and the neighbors, it's a large number, and we're still working here. Israel says its overnight strikes were targeting a senior Hamas political leader and taking up tunnels and rocket launch sites. The response from Hamas came quickly. Israel says about half of the militants' rockets have fallen short or been intercepted by the aerial defense system. But others have hit their targets, residential areas such as here in Tel Aviv. One man died when a Hamas rocket struck his house. Others narrowly escaped death. Of this Gaza building hosting several media outlets has raised international concern. Israel says it was also used by a Hamas intelligence operation. Associated Press has demanded evidence and says the world will now know less about what is happening in Gaza. On Saturday, funerals were held for 10 family members killed in an earlier Israeli airstrike. Only a baby survived. Desperate diplomatic efforts are underway to broker a ceasefire and avoid more such tragedies.
For the Israeli Foreign Ministry. I really appreciate your joining us at DW, sir, and I want to start by asking why the Israeli military is bombing the offices of foreign press organizations in Gaza.
Despite calls for a ceasefire, Israel said it still has more targets to hit and did overnight, destroying more of what it describes as an extensive tunnel network Hamas is using to fire rockets. Hamas is still launching rockets at Israeli cities, but fewer than before. And the group is no longer making good on promises to rain fire on northern Israel at the time and place of its choosing. Hamas's infrastructure and the homes of its leaders have taken a severe beating. So have the people in Gaza, poor and cut off. Israel doesn't allow them to leave Gaza, even when it's attacking. According to health officials, around 200 in Gaza have been killed so far, including more than 60 children. Many in Gaza are now taking refuge in UN-run schools.
والتاريخ جوا المسجد الأقصى خلعونا جوا المسجد الأقصى عبر القصة في هذه التغطية المفتوحة للاقتحام الكبير لقوات الاحتلال للمسجد الأقصى. قوات الاحتلال في هنا إصابة سابعة لسبع إطلاق قنابل غاز بشكل كثيف جدا داخل المصلى القبلي.
We were praying in the mosque. Suddenly, the soldiers vacated the mosque without any alert. They started to shoot the bombs, and there are many, dozens of injured, dozens of people who were injured from the bullets. It's amazing. This is a praying place, not for fight.
Our own police, the Israeli police, has sadly denied us to go up there, and instead we go to the Western Wall. But that is not how we understand full redemption. We want to go up to our Temple Mount. We want equal rights there. The Israeli Supreme Court has decided that we have a right to pray there, we have a right to go there, and it's the heart of Judaism. And this moment is bittersweet. On the one hand, we celebrate Jerusalem Day. On the other hand, we realize that Jerusalem is not fully reunited, and we are denied rights, and instead the jihad rules this place. So we're going to continue to protest and to celebrate at the same time. That's Jerusalem Day 2021.
Ambulance there are journalists. Here we go, look at this, here we go. Oh, he's just told him not to throw. You can see it. They saw the camera and didn't throw. But there you can see in his hands. Stun grenade.